Hare Krishna, dear devotees. I express my sincere gratitude to all of you for joining in today's session. Let us start with Mangalacharanam prayers. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadandikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yuta Padakamalam Sri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpade Gopesh Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Nidhi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvisesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Once again, my sincere gratitude and I extend a warm welcome to all the devotees for joining in today's session. Before we proceed, I would like to have a feedback from you about yesterday's session. You can say the points that you picked up from that, whether you could flow with the book as we went on reading it, or do you think there should be some modification in our approach? Please let me hear from you.
Krishna Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranams Prabhuji. Prabhuji, yesterday your kind self has told about the Anandamaya Jiva's Kavacha, sir. Anandamaya Kosha, Vijnanamaya Kosha, Pranamaya Kosha, and Annamaya Kosha.
Yes.
I mean, everything happens only at the lusty desire. So many miseries will happening. And it is based on the Taittiriya Upanishad. In 10.43.17 Bhagavatam, so how the 9 type of people were praying Supreme Lord. And in 14.27 Bhagavad Gita also your kind self is told. And then in Shuddha Sattva, transcendental, Nama Rupa Guna Leela were all in Shuddha Sattva. Independent will take place taken by only Sri Krishna only. It is not possible by the Jivas.
Yes.
And then Supreme Lord will incarnate only at his will. Without any influence, at his will only everything, the avatars will happening in the material world. As per I noted and raised things.
Prabhu, I am really grateful that you are taking notes. This is really nice. Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. If I left, sometimes it is not possible for me to write also.
No. You don't have to write down everything, but yes, the practice of having a pen and a notebook is good. Any point that really captures your attention, you can just write it down for future reference. That is very good.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Other devotees would like to say something. My system is behaving a little odd today. When I click on the participants, it is not showing the list. I don't know for what reason. Show the participants list. It is not showing.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Dandat pranams, Prabhuji. Prabhuji, you said, no, Prabhuji, that we cannot experience that Shuddha Sattva. No, Prabhuji, that is what you told yesterday, no, Prabhuji?
Yes. While we are in the modes,
yeah,
it's not possible. We cannot even imagine, because our intelligence is also covered by the three modes. Our mind, our intelligence, our false ego, everything is within the modes. So as far as Shuddha Sattva is concerned, for us it is simply the word of the spiritual master and the scripture. We really cannot have neither experience of that, nor even a mental picture of that, or an intellectual speculation on that. Not possible. Yes, that's right, Mataji.
Okay, Prabhuji. So, any activity, when it can we make it transcendental, Prabhuji, our activity? Is that possible?
Our activity will become transcendental when we cross the three modes, right? But what makes sadhana bhakti special, right? Bhava bhakti, prema bhakti, they go to the transcendental stage. But in the sadhana bhakti, because we are not following our own mind, we are not following our own material intelligence, we are following the spiritual master and his instructions, which are coming from bhakti scriptures. You are simply executing that. So your bhakti becomes transcendental, right? Even though it is just a practice based on faith in the Guru Maharaj and in the scriptures, because you are following the instructions, your bhakti becomes transcendental, even though you are doing it in a material situation, and you are also covered by the modes. We have our own svabhava, which is coming from our various anarthas of the past, but still, the bhakti practice which you are doing on the strength of your shraddha, right? By following the spiritual master and instructions from the scriptures, it becomes transcendental. And this transcendental process of Vaidhi sadhana will eventually lead you to bhava and prema. So even the sadhana bhakti is considered transcendental because it is insulated from the influence of your anarthas by the shastric faith and the guidance of the spiritual master. Is it okay?
Yes, Prabhuji. Now it is clear, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Right. So again, I will give why this Madhurya Kadambini is important is this is a mercy of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura. He writes for when you see his tika on Srimad Bhagavatam or Bhagavad Gita and all, it's all meant for rasikas. Rasika means they are pure devotees who are on the transcendental Suddha Sattva platform and they are relishing the pastimes of the Lord on that stage. So he's a Rasika Acharya and he is writing for them. But here in Madhurya Kadambini, it is meant for beginners like us to help us to understand how the process of bhakti starts and how it proceeds to various stages and what kind of obstacles we are likely to experience on the way. You know, when you see someone like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explaining in such great detail what obstacles sadhaka is going to face as he starts his Vaidhi sadhana bhakti, it actually becomes very hope giving to us because each of us will go through almost practically everything that he says. And that becomes a sort of a relief for you. It will make you understand, okay, I am not alone. It is not that I am so fallen that I am experiencing all these problems. Other sadhakas must not be having these problems. Once you see it is coming from the mouth of someone like Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is an eternal associate of Radha Krishna. And when he sees that, it gives a lot of hope. Okay, my entering into sadhana bhakti is my great fortune. He has already said that. Anyone who comes to bhakti is greatly fortunate, but doesn't mean that it is going to be a cakewalk or a bed of roses for us. Sadhana bhakti, initial stages, especially the Vaidhi sadhana, is going to be difficult because our shraddha will only slowly deepen. When our anarthas start disappearing, our Shraddha will deepen. Till that time, there will be the challenge of Maya on the one side and our own attraction to spiritual life on the other side. We are going to experience a lot of challenges there. So this book, though it is a very small book, it is actually intended for sadhakas like us to appreciate what this is, what we have received already, the seed of faith in our heart. And through the sadhu sangha, we have started bhajana kriya. But we begin to understand that this is the process that everybody will go through. I have to just stick to it. And by sticking to it, eventually I will attain the greatest fruit, which is not available in this material world anywhere. No process of karma, jnana, or Ashtanga yoga, they will not give you this particular result of Krishna Prema. This is only the fruit of bhakti. So that is why this book is very, very special. Actually, there are two books. One is Madhurya Kadambini, the other one is called Aishwarya Kadambini. There are two books of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. We are specially going into Madhurya Kadambini because this is where we are really interested in. We are interested in experiencing the Supreme Lord who is a Rasa Vigraha. He covers all his Aishwaryas within himself so that you have a pure relationship with the Lord directly. There is no covering of the Aishwaryas. So that way, Madhurya Kadambini is very, very special for a Sadhaka Bhakta in the Gaudiya Vaishnava lineage. Okay, so that is a preamble I wanted to give you why we are going through this book. And so beautifully, it will take us from level to level, and very difficult to control the tears sometimes that, it exactly describes my condition. And you'll feel so relieved. And then it will give you a more, an inspiration that let me struggle harder so that I can pass these stages quickly and I can reach the Nishta stage as quickly as possible. So that way, one side it's a consolation, the other side it is an inspiration that let me do better, let me strengthen my efforts to do better quality bhakti, like that. Is it? Does anyone want to say something on what I have spoken?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Correct.
From yesterday, I attended one class, Prabhuji.
Ah.
The class was, Prabhuji has told, we have spent around 2 hours for this spiritual activities for chanting and all those things. In 22 hours, we were in material world. How it is not possible to be with the best Krishna conscious thing. So we must be at least 8 to 10 hours. We must be in Krishna consciousness. We were to hear and chant and hear and chant. Then only we can able to visualize the bhakti of this Krishna consciousness. Or otherwise, we will. It is of course that 2 hours won't waste, but it won't give us the best result.
Yeah, true. Fundamentally, we have to be patient in this process, and we are depending on the causeless mercy of Vaishnavas and the Supreme Lord and the process of bhakti itself. So we appreciate that, as you said correctly, Neha Bikramana Swasti, even a little practice of bhakti is never going to waste. It is always there into your account. And like Srila Prabhupada says, bhakti is simple but not easy, right? Sometimes Prabhupada would say, bhakti is not difficult, but it is also difficult. Like Achintya Veda Veda, like that Prabhupada would say. Basically, the more our heart gets cleansed up from the pollutions, it becomes easier and easier. So, but I cannot wait for my heart to become cleansed in a natural way in course of time. That may take millions of lifetimes, it may never happen. Right? Whereas chanting of the holy name and the various angas of bhakti, they have this power to cleanse our consciousness. So as we go on doing our spiritual practices, it will automatically make it more and more easier with the passage of time. If we focus by simultaneously on the quantity and quality of our sadhana, then automatically the results will start flowing to us. And it becomes all the more easier if we do it in the association of devotees. like we discussed yesterday, superior devotees, devotees at equal level, or devotees who are more junior to us. So these kind of association, appropriately, if we deal with them, then the whole process becomes a pleasure. Even the anartha nivritti stage can become a pleasure for the devotee. Anyone, if it is possible for us to increase the time given, very good, that is excellent. But even if we are not able to increase the time, but at whatever time we give, we can do it tivra, with putting our heart into it, putting all our effort into it. Then also we can get good results. It is not just the duration of time, but it is the quality of the sadhana also. So we can make our prayers before we start to the parampara, to the Lord, that please help me. It's ultimately, it is a costless mercy only, right? So even though we are doing sadhana, it's not that we are demanding on the strength of our sadhana that we should be bestowed with prema. That is not possible. We cannot demand from the Lord. Why we cannot demand? Simple scientific answer. Why we cannot demand from the Lord? Because the Lord is independent. We cannot say, I have given you this, now you have to give me that. That barter system does not work with the Lord, because the Lord is supremely independent. You cannot make him committed. If you can make him committed, that means it's no longer independent, right? So we have to realize the Lord will give it at his own sweet will. Anything that the Lord does is out of his sweet will only. We cannot make him obligated. Lord by himself may feel obligated to a devotee. That's a different story. Voluntarily, Lord may come under the control of a devotee. He may become obligated to a devotee, willingly, happily. But you cannot tell the Lord, oh Lord, I have done my sadhana for so many years and I have taken so many efforts. Yeah, I should get your mercy. No. Even though you may say that, but you have to realize that it comes from the supreme will, independent will of the Lord. So let us start this. Bhakti is independent. This is the next heading. Bhakti is independent. Here, just as we discussed yesterday, that the Lord is independent, right? So now we are going to discuss Bhakti is also independent. Because Bhakti is simply the supreme energy of the Lord. The entire, the Bhakta, the Bhagavan and Bhakti, this is one entirely spiritual existence. This is actually Sat. This is eternal existence, right? This Bhakta, Bhagavan, and the process of Bhakti that connects them, that is eternally existing. So the whole thing is independent. Okay, we will understand what is this independence here. Just as the Lord is not independent on any material cause for his appearance, even though we may say paritranaya sadhunam vinashaya cha dushkritam dharma samsthapanarthaya sambhavami yuge yuge. Lord says, I appear in every yuga in order to protect the pious people and to destroy the wicked, to establish dharma. I come. So it sounds as though it is an obligation on the part of the Lord to come every yuga to do these things, but no. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur clearly says this is not so. The Lord's coming is not at all under any kind of obligation, even though from our material perspective, we try to understand the Lord's appearance. We may think so, right? But it is not exactly that. It is always the independent choice of the Lord, right? So, Bhakti is the energy of the Lord and it is not different from him. So, just as the Lord's appearance is independent, same way the appearance of Bhakti in someone's heart, that is also happens independently. The Bhakti Devi appears in someone's heart in her supreme independence, right? Self-manifesting. There is no material cause for the appearance of Bhakti. And here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur quotes Srimad Bhagavatam, Savai pumsam paro dharmo yato bhaktir adokshaje ahetuki apratihata yayatma suprasidati. We know this famous shloka, right? Sudha Goswami is telling the Namikaranya Rishis that here, the same shloka, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains it in a nice, different way. What he says is, Savai Pumsam Paro Dharmo Yato Bhakti Radokshaje Ahayutiki Apratihata Ye Atma Suprasidati. Here, the supreme dharma for human beings, he explains it as sadhana bhakti. Paro dharmo, we will generally understand it as prema bhakti. But here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur calls paro dharma as sadhana bhakti. Right? So this is a very hope-giving statement because Mataji asked in the beginning of the class, is it actually Suddha Sattva? So here he is telling paro dharma. Sadhana bhakti is a paradharma. Para means what? Transcendental. Right? So through because we are all human beings, we are all conditioned souls. We are all conditioned souls. But still, the sadhana bhakti that we do is paradharma. And it is the only thing possible for a conditioned soul. We cannot straight away perform bhava bhakti or prema bhakti. So only sadhana bhakti is possible for us. And so that becomes the highest dharma for a human being. So he says, the supreme dharma for all human beings, which is sadhana bhakti, is that by which prema bhakti to the Lord will arise. So by doing sadhana bhakti, one day it will become prema bhakti. Sometimes, people talk in a very confusing language. They say, no, this Vaidhi sadhana will not do. You have to simultaneously start doing some Siddha Pranali. You have to understand your Siddha Deha, and you have to start serving in the Siddha Deha and all that. Not at all required. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, who is himself from the spiritual world, he is telling, no. By sadhana bhakti, automatically prema bhakti to the Lord will arise. So the same shloka, he brings both sadhana bhakti and prema bhakti. The prayojana is prema bhakti, but the process is sadhana bhakti. So the process for the conditioned soul is sadhana bhakti, by which one day he will attain prema bhakti, which is the prayojana, which is the ultimate goal. And then he says, this sadhana bhakti is not caused by anything other than itself. Right? So bhakti causes bhakti. It cannot be obstructed. Nothing can stop the flow of this process of bhakti. And it satisfies the mind completely. E Atma suprasidati, satisfy the soul completely. So here he is explaining that shloka that sadhana bhakti to prema bhakti is just one ladder only. And we are entering in the first step. Just by remaining there, we will eventually reach the prema platform. So that is the shloka here. And another thing he says, similarly, he is now trying to prove Bhakti is independent. Remember this title, we are still reading under the title. There are similarly other statements in Bhagavatam he is quoting. From 11th canto, he is quoting extensively. 11th canto, 20th chapter, shloka number 8 and 11, where there are statements which talk about good fortune, right? Yadrichaya mat kadadau. Yadrichaya means what? By chance or by good luck. That is yadrichaya. So when we say yadrichaya, that means actually causeless, by good fortune. So when we say good fortune, then the question will arise, how the good fortune was created? Is it because of some past pious activities or something? So when we say yadrichaya, and we translate the word yadrichaya to mean by luck or by chance, that is not the correct meaning. Because when you say good luck, then again you will want to know from where the good luck came. Supposing I give an answer from where the good luck came, then it is no longer causeless. The moment I give an explanation that no, this devotee came in the association of this person came in association of devotee and God bhakti because he had done such and such thing before, and because of that, this good fortune has arisen, then it is no longer causeless. So, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur will prove that bhakti alone is the cause of bhakti and there is no other cause. Okay, so that is why he is telling this yadrichaya word should be understood to mean by his own independent sweet will. Yadrichaya means independent sweet will, not by accident or by good fortune, etc. Bhakti arises only by the sweet will of bhakti itself. Okay. So we should not interpret this word yadrichaya as good luck. So if one assumes that this good luck, somebody says, no, yadrichaya means good luck only, then the question will come, how it came? Because of some pious activities of the past? Then the understanding will become, due to pious activities, one gets bhakti, but that's not true. Bhakti is not dependent on material good works, dana, right, austerities, charity, like that. No, it's not dependent on such pious activities at all. Bhakti is independent of pious activities. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says, if we accept that bhakti arises from past good works, that contradicts with the bhakti scriptures, which say that bhakti is actually independent and self-manifesting. So again, if we want to argue that the luck is there, but it's not because of any pious activity, but we cannot describe. It is luck only, but it cannot be put into words. We cannot understand by our mental speculation. If I say like that, Vishwanath Chakravarti explains, if you say like that, that means it is insubstantial. It is insignificant. Right? When we say it is some good fortune, but we cannot understand, it is just some beyond our intelligence, like that, then he says, then also it cannot be accepted because you are demeaning the power of this yadrichaya, this costless mercy. So he says, but supposing you say the cause of bhakti is the Lord's mercy, then there is a problem. Why? Then you have to find out why the Lord's mercy came on this particular person, right? Somebody became a devotee. So if we say it's because of Lord's mercy, then the question will come, why this person got mercy? That reason has to be explained. The moment you start looking for a reason for mercy, it is no longer mercy, it is no longer costless. Right? So Vishwanath Chakravarti is proceeding on a very, very logical platform. We should try to go with him. And this is his style of writing all his books. This is called Purva Paksha approach, right? Purva Paksha means basically questioning. Questioning means, see, supposing two people are talking, right? One person is a atheist, or one person holds an opposite view. So that person will ask questions and this person will reply. In a similar way, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur takes both the positions. That is what makes his book very, very interesting and absorbing to read, right? On the one side, he will only ask the question. Like a atheist or a non-believer, he will ask questions and then he will answer the questions. So when you read the question, you should not get confused. Why Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur himself is saying like this? You should know that he's actually taking the position of a non-believer and he's asking a question. Then he will provide the reply also. This is a very sweet approach of Vishwanath Chakravarti. There will be always question answers and the questions will confuse you. But then you should understand that the question is coming from a non-believer's perspective and the answer he will supply. Sometimes the questions will be so deep, you will think, who will have the intelligence to ask these questions? But Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, because he is from transcendental world, he is able to ask such questions also and answer them. So here he is saying, if you think bhakti came by Lord's mercy, somebody says it came by Lord's mercy, then you will ask the question, why Lord's mercy came to this person? Then you have to explain. The moment you start explaining, then it can no longer be called mercy. So you have to give further explanation. That means the point is defeated. Okay. So if one therefore responds that the cause is the Lord's absolute, unqualified, or causeless mercy, then the Lord seems to show favoritism in bestowing it, since the unqualified mercy does not fall upon everyone equally. Supposing you say somebody got the causeless mercy of the Lord, unqualified, absolute mercy, because of that this person became a devotee. Then also others will ask, why only that person should get that causeless mercy? Why should not others get? In that case, it looks like the Lord is partial, that he gave devotion to somebody. Okay. So then, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explains further. The Lord being partial to devotees is okay. Right? Supposing a devotee is having a problem and the Lord comes to the rescue of the devotee, that is not a flaw. That is not a defect in the Lord. That is actually the greatness of the Lord. We call him Bhakta Vatsal. He loves everyone, but he loves his devotees specially. But that's not a flaw on him. That is actually a good quality. But that refers to devotees. Devotees are automatically eligible to get the special mercy of the Lord. But devotion itself, to give somebody that devotion, to not give somebody the devotion, that will make the Lord partial. The Lord being partial to devotees is not a flaw. But Lord giving devotion to somebody, but withholding from somebody, that will be a flaw. Okay, so the 2 points Vishwanath Chakravarti is explaining, you should not say that Lord should be impartial between devotees and non-devotees. No. Lord is definitely partial to devotees. But between two non-devotees, to one person he gives devotion, to other person he doesn't give devotion, that will be partiality. That will be questionable. So here he is telling, this partiality of the Lord to the devotee is actually an ornament. It enhances the character of the Lord because his affectionate obligation to the devotees. He feels affectionately obligated to the devotees, even though he is supremely independent. But this obligation becomes an ornament, like a powerful king. Even though Lord has many other qualities, but all the other qualities are overridden by the Lord's love for his devotees, right? So then he will continue to explain how bhakti is as independent as the Lord and how someone will get bhakti. This is very, very important because this will help you to understand and appreciate how you became a devotee, how you and I, we all became devotees. How? What is the process? We will understand that now. So he gives the final argument, how someone gets devotion. The unqualified mercy of the devotee is the cause of devotion. The unqualified mercy of the devotee. When you say it is the mercy of God, then it becomes a flaw on God. But when you say unqualified mercy of the devotee to a fallen conditioned soul, then it is no longer partiality of the devotee. Okay, that is not a fault of the devotee. Devotee is allowed to be partial, right? God, if he is partial, we will find a fault with him. Whereas a devotee, if he sees any conditioned soul, he becomes merciful to that soul. A devotee can see only a few people in front of him. Wherever he goes, he sees a fallen soul, immediately his mercy will fall on that person. That's not a partiality of the devotee, because devotee is a human being. But devotee carries bhakti in his heart. Devotee is a person, he carries bhakti in his heart. By the presence of the bhakti, mercy arises in his heart. If bhakti is not there, mercy will not be there. But because this devotee is a human being, carries bhakti in his heart, mercy arises from him, and that mercy goes to a fallen, conditioned soul. Then what happens? That soul gets bhakti. So if you think about it, bhakti only gives bhakti. Because the bhakta has bhakti in his heart, the bhakti causes mercy to arise. That mercy enables him to pass on bhakti to another soul. So that way, right? Do you understand? Is it difficult? Hare Krishna. I want some quick responses.
Can understand, Prabhuji.
Understand, Prabhuji.
So you understand that only a devotee can give bhakti to another one. Okay. This is the arrangement of the Lord. Now he will explain how the Lord's arrangement is that bhakti, the Lord will not give. If the Lord gives, we will say he is partial. Right? So the Lord will not give. But bhakti, just like the Lord, it is independent. And the independent bhakti is the treasure in the heart of a bhakta. So that bhakta, whoever he meets, he can give that mercy. That will not be a flaw on the part of the devotee, because the bhakti sitting in his heart gives rise to mercy. That mercy flows to you, and then you become a devotee also. This is how bhakti spreads from devotee to devotee. There is no other way, right? He is explaining, for example.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Just
Hare
a
Krishna.
small doubt. Prabhuji, that only a devotee can give bhakti to another non-devotee or a devotee only?
Non-devotee. Non-devotee.
Non-devotee.
Yeah.
Okay.
That
No,
is
he will be having an inclination towards, towards bhakti, but he may be not a devotee then.
no. See, the devotee is the source of that bhakti, of the mercy. He plants the seed in the heart of the other person. That's why we say, Lavamatra sadhu sangha sarva siddhi hoy. Just by coming in a momentary association with a devotee also, the seed of bhakti can be planted in your heart. Of course, when it will sprout, when it will grow, depends on how you put yourself in favorable circumstances, right? When it will grow, you cannot tell. But the seed gets planted by a devotee to a non-devotee, right? That's how it goes. And this is why, this is what we are discussing. See, Chakravarti Thakur is talking about a Madhyama Bhakta. We all know Uttama Bhakta sees Krishna in everyone. So he doesn't preach. Uttama Bhakta sees himself as a servant of everyone, right? He sees everything else as Krishna. That is a Uttama Bhakta. He sees Krishna everywhere. Stavara Jangama Dekhe, Na Dekhe Tala Murti. He sees anything, any object. He doesn't see the object. He sees Krishna within that object. So he doesn't preach. Whereas a Madhyama Bhakta, he will see this distinction, and accordingly he will show partiality in distributing mercy. Here is a quote from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:46. Prema Maitri Kripa Upeksha Yakkaroti Sa Madhyamaha. This is a definition of Madhyama devotee given by Krishna himself, 11th canto, Uddhava Gita. Krishna says, Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. 4 things he is telling, right? So, Maitri means to equal, to a person who is equal to him, one Madhyama Bhakta to another Madhyama Bhakta, he will give Maitri. To someone superior to him, he will show Prema. And someone inferior to him, he will show Kripa, mercy, right? This is how. So, even to a non-devotee, he can give Kripa. That through that Kripa, he gets the seed of bhakti. And ultimately, Upeksha. Upeksha means to atheistic people, to envious people, he ignores them. That is also his mercy, so that they won't commit more offenses. Correct? So these 4 things Madhyama Bhakta will do. Prema, Maitri, Kripa, Upeksha. Upeksha means ignoring them, avoiding them, neglecting them. Even that is a mercy. So this is how a Madhyama devotee will act. He gives mercy to the innocent people. He disregards those who are hostile to bhakti. He has friendship with devotees. And prema, he exhibits towards the Lord. Okay. So this is the definition of a Madhyama Bhakta. So we can clearly see Madhyama Bhakta is one who gives devotion to others. In this case, now here is an explanation. In this case, the Lord becomes subservient to his devotee. To the Madhyama Bhakta, the Lord becomes subservient. Why? He bestows his mercy in accordance with the devotee's mercy. When devotee wants to give mercy to someone, the Lord agrees with him. Right? Even to some unqualified person, if a devotee wishes to give mercy, the Lord will oblige. So, even though Lord is supremely independent, he becomes dependent on his devotee when it comes to distributing mercy. When a devotee is eager to give mercy to another person, then the Lord becomes obligated. So, again, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, this is not an irregularity. There is no irregularity in this arrangement, because the reason that mercy appeared in the devotee, why that devotee became merciful to another fallen soul? Can you tell me? Why a
Hare
devotee?
Krishna
Hare
Prabhuji,
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Huh.
because he got mercy from some other devotee, Prabhuji.
But now you should not use the word mercy here. You should say there is devotion in his heart. Somebody's
Yes,
mercy
Prabhuji.
has already transformed into devotion in his heart. And because of the presence of bhakti in his heart, he is feeling mercy. Otherwise, he will not feel mercy. So, because bhakti is already manifested in him, he is feeling mercy towards a fallen conditioned soul. So, this is not an irregularity. Why? The mercy is flowing from the medium of bhakti only. Bhakti is sitting in the heart of the devotee. From that bhakti only mercy is arising. So, the correct understanding is bhakti is acting independently here. Without having bhakti, there is no possibility of the devotee manifesting mercy to others. Thus, the mercy is self-manifesting, independent nature of bhakti. This mercy is independently arising from bhakti. It has no other cause. This is what Vishnu Chakravarti is making all the effort to convince us that only a bhakta can give bhakti, and bhakti is completely causeless. It is supremely independent. It is just like Krishna. There's no difference between Krishna and Bhakti. Krishna is independent, Bhakti is also independent. So the only way we can get Bhakti is through another Bhakta. Krishna te tumara, Krishna ti te paro, tomara sakati ache. Amito kangal, Krishna Krishna boli, dhai tava pache pache. That's a Vaishnava Thakura, that beautiful song, where I think it is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Oh hey Vaishnava Thakura, Dayara Sagara, Veda se Karuna Kori. There he says, oh Vaishnava Thakur, you have Krishna in your heart, and you can give Krishna to anyone you desire. And I am useless fallen soul. So what I am doing? I am shouting Krishna, 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 and I am running behind you because Krishna is in your heart. Krishna te tomara. Krishna belongs to you. And you are empowered to give Krishna to anyone you want. Krishna has become a property of a devotee. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, I am just running, I am shouting Krishna, Krishna, but I am running behind you. Why? Because Krishna is entrapped in your heart and you are empowered to give him to anyone. So that means Krishna has become willingly subservient to his devotee. This is the point Saraswati Thakur, our Vishnu Chakravarti Thakur is telling. So it is not a disqualification. This is establishing the supreme independence of bhakti. Therefore, he is again quoting Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. Actually, you can say that this Madhurya Kadambini is a commentary on Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also, right? Here he says, Yakkenapi atibhagyena jata shraddho asya sevane. So, Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu also talks about extremely good fortune. So, when the word extremely good fortune, ati bhagyena, you should not immediately think, oh, it is some good luck from some cause. No. You should understand this good luck means attaining the mercy of a devotee, right? Attaining the mercy of a devotee. And this is called extremely good fortune. You know why? Because if you have done some punya karma, then you will get some good results, correct? If you have done some lot of charity, you have dug some wells, you have planted some trees, you have given some free medicines, free education to people, you have done some pious activities, it will give you some good results. But this result of getting bhakti, that is coming from extremely good fortune, means this is not from pious activity. That is good fortune. Extremely good fortune. Ati bhagya means simply causeless mercy of a devotee. Is it clear that ati bhagyena, the word used in Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu, refers to the association of a devotee from which we get bhakti. So, but one should not conclude that since the devotee is dependent on the will of the Lord, the devotee cannot initiate the bestowal of mercy. Again, another point. This is also Purva Paksha. He is giving one more argument. But devotee is always dependent on the will of the Lord. Devotee always says, "Oh Lord, let thy will be done. I have no independent will." Does it mean the devotee cannot initiate the bestowal of mercy independently? No, he can. He says, why? Since the Lord willingly becomes subservient to his devotee. The devotee says, I am subservient to the will of the Lord. But the Lord in turn says, I am subservient to the will of my devotee. So that way, devotee can independently bestow mercy on anyone he desires. The Lord gives preeminence to the devotee's position by granting him the power to bestow the Lord's mercy. Please take these things deeply into your heart. How much we are obligated to the parampara, how much we are obligated to Srila Prabhupada and to the whole parampara, that today, even though we never saw Srila Prabhupada, and Prabhupada left us so many years ago, 50 years ago, but still we are able to enter into this path of bhakti. How merciful he has been, that he has created so many facilities in the form of books, devotees, ISKCON temples, festivals, so many things he has done somehow or other to pull us into bhakti. So we have to understand how rare, what a great fortune has come, extremely good fortune, by the mercy of a pure devotee like Srila Prabhupada. So our aspiration should be that let me give it to as many people I can. This fortune that I have received, let me share it with as many people I can. Then Krishna will become very pleased with you. Because as we discussed earlier, if Krishna gives bhakti to someone, we will say, oh, he is partial. We will say, foul, foul, foul. Why Krishna gave to that person? Why he did not give to this person? So Krishna doesn't give. So to give bhakti, he depends on devotees only. The devotee should go and give the mercy. You take the bhakti in your heart and then you start distributing it to others. So that is where the devotee can win the pleasure of the Lord. Though as Paramatma, Paramatma is in the heart, but he is overseeing the activities of the jivas, the external senses, by giving the reward of his past activities, punya, papa. The Lord does that as Paramatma. But the Lord personally shows special mercy to his devotees. How? By giving them his own independent power to bestow mercy to others. See, the source of bhakti is the Lord only. That bhakti is independent, the Lord is independent, the Lord can give bhakti to anyone he wants. But the Lord doesn't exercise that power. Willingly, he has given that power to his devotee, and the Lord has become subservient. If the devotee says, let this person get mercy, the Lord is obliged to give mercy. Okay? This is what Vishwanath Chakravarti is laboring to make us understand. To hear this again and again and again is like, taking more and more nectar. And you never become tired of taking this. That how important is the role of a devotee in our life. We can never, and it's not that I came into devotee association, now I have got devotion, now I no longer need devotee. No. Even after you go to Goloka Vrindavan, you will continue to need devotee association, but only difference will be there you will hanker for a devotee association. You will get so much pleasure from devotee association. But right now, in our fallen condition, we don't have that hankering for devotee association. So this is the difference between sadhana and prema. But it is the same thing. Now also devotee association, there also devotee association. But now devotee association may not be so sweet for us. But at the final stage, it will become, we cannot live without devotee association. So as Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, only by his bestowal of mercy can one attain his eternal spiritual realm. He is quoting Bhagavad Gita 1862 and Gita 6:15, that even for a yogi who has performed his yoga perfectly, or for a jnani or a karmi, he can attain Vaikuntha only when the Lord gives his mercy. Not simply by jnana, vairagya, or karma, you cannot get. Only when the Lord gives his mercy. This mercy is manifested in the Lord's bestowal of his own kripa sakti to his devotee. That means, what a karmi or a jnani or ashtanga yogi, struggling all his life, but still he cannot attain unless he gets the mercy of the Lord, which is automatically available to a devotee. Why? Because the Lord's kripa has been invested in the heart of his devotees. So a devotee can give this very easily, which a karmi or a jnani or a yogi is struggling hard to attain. So here he is proving the supreme excellence of bhakti over all the other processes. So the next heading is bhakti caused by nishkama karma? So this is again Purva Paksha argument, right? Nishkama karma, you all know, you have read Bhagavad Gita. Performing your activities and without looking for the fruits of that activity, you do it. That is called nishkamya karma. It's also called akarma, right? If you do activities, your duties, but you don't try to enjoy the fruits, you are not attached to it, then it's nishkama karma. So here he is explaining, though through many scriptural statements, it is mentioned that the Lord appears by his own will, right? The scriptures say the Lord appears by his own will, right? To attract the fallen souls to himself. But he comes in various forms to give his mercy to the fallen souls. So that is how we understand. But what is important to understand is the Lord is appearing by his own will. Even though in our material vision, we may conclude that to relieve the burden of the earth, the Lord is appearing. So there is a cause for the Lord's appearance. But in the same way, sometimes people say, so first point, you have to take it, you have to understand, even though some reasons are given for the appearance of the Lord, but we have to understand that the Lord appears by Sambhavami Atma Mayaya. The Lord comes by his own sweet will. It is not because there is so much sin in this world, so the Lord has to come. No, that is our material vision. Similarly, when sometimes there are statements like karma performed without personal motives acts as the door of bhakti. Nishkamya karma will automatically produce bhakti. Some places it is said like that, but it is not true, right? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, somewhere it is said, charity and austerity cannot give rise to bhakti. There is a shloka in the same 11th canto, 12.9, 11.12.9 Srimad Bhagavatam. Yamna yogena sankyena dana vratata podharaihi Vyakhya Swadhyaya Sanyasai Prapnuyat Yatnavanapi. So here it says, even by intense effort of yoga, Sankhya, charity, vows, austerity, sacrifice, etc., reading the Vedas, studying the Vedas, or sannyas, you cannot get bhakti. This is Krishna saying. Krishna is saying. He's given all the list of pious activities, but he says, no, through this you cannot get. Okay. Then Purva Paksha comes. In another place, it is mentioned in Bhagavatam 10:47-24. What it says? Dana Varta Tapa Homa Japa Swadhyaya Samyamaihi Shreyobir Vividaishchanyai Krishne Bhaktir Hisadhyate. Krishna Bhakti is attained by processes like charity, austerity, homa, japa, study, sense control, other pious activities. Both the slokas are quoted by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. The first sloka he quoted to prove that through charity and other pious activities you cannot get bhakti. Then immediately he himself gives a sloka which says that actually the door to devotion is opened by doing these activities. Then he explains this. I will just take 1 minute and then we will continue. This point only I will quickly explain. We will elaborate in the next class. So here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur says, there are two different types of bhakti he wants to mention. The first sloka which says you cannot get bhakti by these pious activities, that refers to prema bhakti. That refers to prema bhakti. But the second one, where Krishna says the door to bhakti can be opened by all these pious activities, that bhakti is actually what? It's a bhakti in sattva gun. Bhakti in sattva gun. Sattva-guni bhakti is more conducive to liberation. It is not conducive to prema. So, it's like karma plus bhakti. Like you are in sattva guna, you are performing your karma in sattva guna, and you are also doing some bhakti. That bhakti only you will get by doing these pious activities. But we are talking about prema bhakti. So there is no contradiction between the two shlokas. Apparently, it looks like a contradiction, but with the help of the Acharya, we understand that when Krishna says pious activities will not give you bhakti, he refers to prema. In the second shloka, when it says the door to bhakti will open through all these pious activities, that refers to a inferior quality of sattvaguni bhakti, not transcendental bhakti. Sattvaguni bhakti that you will get by this. So this we will elaborate in our next class. Then he will establish that bhakti is independent from karma and jnana, whereas karma and jnana are dependent on bhakti. That we will discuss in some detail in tomorrow's session. Thank you very much. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhye vicha patitanam pavane Vaishnavebhyo namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Next session onwards, I will try to stop 15 minutes ahead of time so that we can take some queries and try to explain them. So whatever queries you have, you can store it for tomorrow.